Hi guys, welcome back to Reading with Lynn. If you're new to my YouTube channel, Reading with Lynn is my online book club. Now, I know we're coming to the end of 2023, so I will show you a wrap up of all the books I've put on my TBR read list, or the books I've started reading and then I need to start reading in 2023, the books I finished in 2023. Also, I forgot in 2022, since 2022 was finishing, I forgot to do a book review. I remember that I joined Book Talk in 2022 as well, and that I kept on showing this book called A Woman in the Woods by Pearse. And I finished this book end of 2022, but I forgot to do a book review. So let's start off with a book review. So Woman in the Woods, this woman is supposedly Woman in the Woods. The Woman in the Woods is named Grace. She had a very tough childhood. She was raped by her uncle, and she just said she had a dog who was very close to her, and she went into the woods, built her own hut, and she was very independent. But because sometimes when you want to be alone or fun to feel alone, some people, and you don't talk, like sometimes when you're quiet or you don't interact with people just like make gossip about you. Like they make gossip about Grace that she's the woman in the woods, she's dangerous, when she's not, because the twins, what was the twins called again? Duncan and Maisie, the twins, Duncan, the male twin, once rode his bike to Grace's hut, and he watched her from a distance to see if she's really this scary. And then apparently Grace fell down, and Duncan helped her up, and so that's where Grace and Duncan's friendship started from. But later Duncan got kidnapped by this man that day, the lawyer and the lawyer that their grandmother trusted the most. Duncan and a few other boys got kidnapped by it, and he was like a gay pedophile. Duncan and the other boys were sexually abused, but Duncan was a very strong boy, so he wasn't that sexually abused. And yeah, and actually Grace isn't that scary because she befriended Duncan, and since Duncan was a friend, she wanted to go and save him, and she worked together with his twin sister Maisie. So Maisie went up to her and they had a good discussion about Duncan, and now Maisie saw the goodness in Grace, and saw that Grace was actually a kind-hearted, caring woman, and she went to visit Duncan in the hospital after he was found. So the gay pedophile who kidnapped most boys and sexually abused them, he was arrested, I think, yeah. And then there was another man that worked with that lawyer that the twins' grandmother trusts the most. And also the twins' father was very distant at times. He started having an affair with his secretary. That's because his wife, the twins' mother, had like a brain tumor and all that, and she was very sick and all that time. And but the children always were close to their mom, because the father was very cold and distant. The father was just like his mom, very cold and distant. And later in the end, he starts to warm up to his children, and he brings his children to the biological mom, and then they see how really sick she is. So kind of like the sad ending got me crying a little bit when we found out that the mom is gonna die soon, and it was like really heartbroken because the twins always wanted to know where the mother is, and the father kept it hidden and mysteriously. And then in the end, during Duncan's abduction, the father started, Maisie started raising his voice towards her father, and then that just brought all the memories back. So the father started bettering himself. So whilst Duncan was found in the hospital with the other survived boy, he started visiting her loads, and he started talking to Duncan, because Duncan was like a man-to-man conversation. So it's really like a sad story in the end about the twins' mom having a brain tumor and being very sick, like that she hasn't much left to live. But I would kind of rate it 5 stars, kind of like I want to give this book 5 stars because like it just made me so cry. And Leslie P, the way she writes the ending about the twins finally getting to see the mom in the hospital is like, it just made me really cry a lot. And then in the end, basically Grace's first dog, who she was very close to, died. But then in the end, after all that was done, Duncan was found and healed, and Grace found a new home. And the twins surprised her with a new dog. So they, every like holiday, they were always allowed to visit Grace. And Grace was very welcome now with the twins, into the twins family, because she's kind of like the one that saved them all. And yeah, so the woman in the woods is actually Grace. And people were talking bad about her because on like, if she's something a witch or something, but she wasn't. She's just a normal human who just wants to be left alone. And she went, like similar to Dunklin, she went through a sexual abuse as well during her childhood, so that's why she wanted just to have a normal private life. And then when she was safe, you know, like paparazzis were like kind of chasing her, but she doesn't matter about that. She just walked away. Yeah, so I give that a 5 stars.